basically the most fundamental pattern that we know of in terms of plant diversity and how it's distributed is something called the latitudinal diversity gradient. Basically, there's a strikingly higher diversity of plant species at low latitudes, so in the tropics, and then this declines as you go up in latitude or more toward temperate boreal regions. So one of our major findings in this work is that islands surprisingly don't follow the same pattern, diversity pattern that we see on mainlands, and so islands show about a 2 times weaker diversity gradient than on mainlands. And what that means is that islands from the tropics all the way to boreal systems have remarkably similar diversity that's relatively low, whereas in mainlands or on continents we see really high diversity in the tropics, and then it drops as you go toward the poles. So it really kind of changes our understanding of this gradient and how it's fundamentally different on islands. A big part of my work is focusing on how biotic interactions might dictate what island communities look like and how diverse those communities are. Classically, island biogeography has focused on abiotic drivers or kind of physical components of islands, like how big they are, how far they are from a mainland. But we've shown that mutualist partnerships that plants have with other organisms like microbes or pollinators actually impact what plant species can arrive on islands and succeed. And importantly, plant species that associate with these partners struggle to arrive to islands. So there's a lower amount of those biotically associated plant species on islands than we see on mainlands. The other big finding is explicitly comparing the relative importance of biotic associations compared to physical island variables like island area and distance, and asking which one, finding out the relative importance of those two, and in the end we find that these biotic associations are the single most important predictor in determining species richness. So we really have to include them in our understanding of what drives diversity and species composition. Okay, well, I kind of think of it as this weakened latitudinal diversity gradient on islands kind of gave us this natural experiment to see what reduces the gradient, and so conversely that helps us understand what might maintain diversity in really diverse systems. And so the fact that we find that these mutualisms are essential in determining the weakening of the latitudinal diversity gradient on islands, that means that suggests that mutualists are really important in maintaining high diversity in the tropics. So this really points to the importance of including mutualisms when we think about what structures plant communities. Testing. Oh, I'm supposed to answer during 90 seconds. How am I supposed to do that? Am I supposed to keep going?
No, that's fine.
Okay. Is this like a confusing way to think about it? Do I get to ask you a question?
Yeah.
That's not working out, huh? Okay.